An annual tradition south of the border is in full swing. You know what this is, right? The Macy's Day Thanksgiving Day Parade in the Big Apple. Crowds are lining the streets of New York for this 95th edition of the parade, and there's the big baby Yoda just floating over the top of your screen, making its way along the route. Reporters are turning into spectators. On the bottom left of your screen, there's CNN's Karen Kaifa snapping some pics of that balloon as it goes by. And Karen, floats and people and fun, and maybe you've had some popcorn, I don't know. But the Macy's Day Parade, is it a sign that Manhattan is alive and well, I suppose?
Well, New York City officials sure hope it is, Suhanna, as they head into the holiday season, which is traditionally so important to the economy and also just the festivities in this city. Last year, of course, before vaccines and when the pandemic was still very uncertain, a lot of that was just the air was just taken out of this city. This Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade did not take place in the traditional form. It was a shortened parade, largely made for TV, a lot of it virtual, a lot of taped musical performances. But New York City hopes that this ushers in something different for this upcoming holiday season. You can see behind me plenty of crowds, and Macy's expected 2.5 million people to line the 2.5-mile parade route between here and Upper Manhattan to the Macy's iconic store on 34th Street, that flagship store. It's certainly a big day for New York City, and certainly encouraging to see people back out on the streets doing something that they couldn't do last year, Suhanna.
And Karen, with the return of big crowds, what about the return of worries over security? What's happening on that front?
Yeah, and the NYPD is always very vigilant as they head into this holiday season. This parade kicks off a series of big, high-profile events. You'll have the Rockefeller Center tree lighting next week, New Year's Eve in Times Square. The NYPD and New York City officials really view that as a package of high-profile, high-security events. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio said he and the NYPD were taking the utmost precautions and the utmost preparations as they would for any high-profile event. Take a listen to what he had to say a little bit earlier this week about the parade.
Very meticulous efforts have been made to prepare. We've dealt with a lot of threats previously. At this moment, there's no credible and specific threat to New York City.
And of course, here in the States, in Wisconsin over the weekend, there was that horrific vehicle attack at a Christmas parade, which raised some questions about what that might mean for the security here. The NYPD and Mayor de Blasio said it didn't change their plans too much because they were already planning on having uniformed and plainclothes officers in the crowd, thousands of them, they say. Also, extra cameras up overhead and on the ground, 180 tons of concrete barriers that are designed to thwart those kinds of vehicle attacks. So certainly a lot of precautions. The NYPD wants themselves to keep an eye on those kinds of things and let the crowd keep their eyes on what is happening here on the parade route, Suhanna.
Enjoy it all, Karen. That's CNN's Karen Kaifa at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York.